Thing is, this bottle is not empty. So why not talk about Contrapoints? The thing about Contrapoints is like, I think the parasocial relationship thing with my inferiority complex is much worse when you're comparing like my parasocial relationship with Contrapoints and with Abigail Thorne. So criticizing Abigail Thorne is much easier than criticizing Contrapoints. Because, I mean, Contrapoints almost had a PhD, okay? It's more than I will ever get, I think. I mean, I should stop all these self-depreciating jokes. I have the impression that a lot of the things I find difficult in regards to Contrapoints and Natalie's content are things she is self-conscious about. She is like a very educated and very smart person, like intimidatingly smart. And that's good for her. But what I find weird is, I mean, I think a lot of the problems that she's having she could solve by just making a video saying, "Hi guys, I'm not a liberal." Because, I mean, apparently I am very left. Like, I'm having fucking caps here for no reason than art. A friend of mine told me today that she is kind of impressed of how I'm really doing activism. Like, I'm having struggles with the police right now. I'm not happy I'm doing activism. But yeah. So I'm also in very left bubbles on Twitter, which is cool and I really like the content. But what I find confusing is their perspective on Contrapoints. So she once said the very smart thing. Oh my god, I'm such a creep, right? Am I a creep? I think I'm a creep. In a podcast, no, in live stream with the Stoa, she said, people feel like you owe them something because they feel this closeness to you. And I think that's only partly true when we are looking at like the left. And she also said, if you do something they don't like, it feels like a personal betrayal of a friendship to them. And to be honest, I'm pretty sure that that's not even what much of the hate from the left is about. So the impression I got from being very left and being on like social media, and I mean, I'm seeing a lot of people hating on Contrapoints on my feed right now, and it's very weird because the things they are hating on aren't even like based. And I thought I'd like to make a video, basically, is Contrapoint a liberal? You know, just watching her videos, taking out quotes, and then being like, yeah, no, she's not. The thing is, I can't say whether she is one or not. Because first of all, of course, that's a personal thing to her. We can try to figure out whether the public figure Contrapoints, not Natalie Wynn, but Contrapoints, is a liberal. But even that, some of the arguments they bring forward for her being a liberal are very weird. I mean, yes, she has lots of money, but that's, I mean, she's working and she's not getting this money from exploiting children in Africa or South America. She's getting this money from advertisement and from lots of small people thinking, yes, I love her content and I want to give her some money from me. And I find this whole Patreon thing very weird because maybe people don't always need more money. And as far from what I've read, like YouTuber Sean posted on his Patreon page that he doesn't want any more Patreon supporters because he has enough money. And that's like a nice thing. Or, I mean, you could donate money, and I looked for donations, and from what I found out was that she donated like all the money she got from live streams to Black Lives Matter in like somewhere last spring, and that she donated to ARC. I don't know what her whole name is anymore. ARC, and like the Texas, I don't know, campaign. And that's weird. I mean, she could probably fund a whole local Baltimore Antifa group. She could be their fucking leader, and that would be probably cool. I mean, they could do fancy Antifa stuff. And I don't know if like local antifaschistische Aktionen, she even, I think, mentioned the German antifaschistische Aktion once, if that's a thing in the United States. But in Germany, you have often like local Antifa groups who run around and paint at houses they don't like, or do vandalism. Mostly they do vandalism from what I've experienced. And that's, yeah, I don't know if she wanted to want vandalism. I don't know if vandalism in the US is even like as easy as in Germany. Not that I've done anything, but like you can get in Antifa shops in Germany free prospects on how to deal with the police if you get caught. So yeah, I think that's a large deal. But back to the topic. Drinking. She could do a lot of stuff with her money, which wouldn't help capitalists. And I mean, she made like this whole video about Biden and how like he is lesser evil than Trump. I also campaigned, but I won't give them money. That's something completely different if you give them your energy or your money. Because, I mean, putting your energy into like stuff when you have to organize it up from the ground is very hard, from what I found out. And campaigning is easy. You can just, you write someone on Instagram, hey, yo, I want to help you. And he's like, yeah, well, sure. We like to have you helping us. And then they're happy because they found a new member. And like, not even a member, they found a new supporter, someone who would talk to weird Germans about politics, which is like not a nice thing to do sometimes. But they're happy and I'm happy. I'm helping, and at the same time I'm not giving them my money. I'm investing my money into a cute poster. So I think that's something people don't really forgive Contrapoints. How she, I mean, she is probably a very intellectual person. That's completely fine. But it doesn't mean that her not even giving her money to the people who are standing in the first line and punching fascists is not something that feels like a betrayal to many. And I think it's not even because we are all having like such a strong relationship to, like parasocial relationship to her, but partly because I think many of those people had followed her for years, had helped her grow. Like, that's maybe something she doesn't even understand. But the fan base has, like, of course, an influence on how the career of a person develops, if it develops. I mean, my followers are basically just my sad friends. They're not all sad. Some of them are. Only my friends are basically following me. That's completely fine. And they are supporting me. They are clicking on my videos and pretending like you don't owe them if you're a famous left-wing influencer. That's bullshit. You do. You're having like large part of your career now thanks to the people who support you on your way. Of course, your friends and your family, but also your fans. And maybe that's just a weird perspective I'm having. And I'm pretty sure that this argument is based. Because she isn't existing isolated from her fans, like, and the followers. She isn't existing somewhere and she can't benefit from what other people do. Because probably a lot of those people like fought in the comments against TERFs, and a lot of those people showed her videos to their friends, and by that spreaded her influence. So she doesn't owe a single person something, right? That's not what I'm arguing for. But I think to pretend that you as influencer or content creator or YouTuber or whatever can't owe your fan base and your supporters something is no, I don't go with that. And I think a lot of those people are just disappointed because they've invested energy not just into like this parasocial relationship, but also into her in form of like her getting a career. So they have shown her videos to their friends, had shown them on, I don't know, had posted them on Twitter because they've liked them, had spent hours debating on her Reddit and a subreddit and making it grow, and maybe even spent money to like her on Patreon, donated money in live streams. And they have invested something in her. At least that's maybe what they are feeling. Because I would definitely feel it. Like a certain band, I'm having a lot of merch from them. I would be very, very disappointed if they would now run around being TERFs and Nazis. Because I've invested my money into them because I thought they are worth the money. And they are worth the time I'm spending listening to their music. And I think that's something that Contrapoints, like Natalie, maybe doesn't get. At least that's from what I figured out listening to her talking and like recorded live streams, stuff like that. Because people think she was worth it, and now they feel she wasn't. But they have already invested energy, and I think that makes them having very strong feelings towards her. And I don't know if she is worth what she's worth, like, except basic human rights. That's something that I would assume about many on the left. Like, when 21 Pilots posted this dumb platform shoes joke after Black Lives Matter, I felt so disappointed. Not because of like, oh, parasocial relationship because Josh is so hot, but because like I've been to their concert, I've listened to their music. That's basically my favorite band. Just an example. And I felt disappointed because I've invested in me liking this band and in them being a liked band. I've introduced to my the music to my friends and brought my sister on train with it. I brought my sister like them too. I went to the concert with my aunt. It's not just like, yeah, I feel attached to them, because I really don't know if she like if that's understandable to anyone except me. You're not just investing your emotional energy into a parasocial relationship, because like parasocial relationship implies basically it's social, it's emotional. And this relationship from people giving her stuff, people giving her money, people giving her that watch time, people sharing her videos, these are real things those people are doing or have done. And when they now feel betrayed by her, because I feel like their input and energy and the money and stuff was just wasted. That's not just being dumb and having dumb feelings that we can't dismiss. I think then it's her responsibility as the receiving end of all of it to address it. And I don't know, I have like seen a lot of her content. So much. And I can't remember her saying like, guys, for your support. I'm appreciating it. I mean, yeah, sure, she's putting people in the young card, but it's not the same as just honestly acknowledging, hey, I know that you guys are investing in me and I'm trying my best to fulfill what you want to get from me. And I mean, that's like basically what she doesn't want, at least from what I figured out, that she doesn't want people to have expectations in her, but like they are basically buying a product. you're basically buying a product if you're like longer supporting a public figure. Because you're paying for a certain kind of content. And you're not paying to see Natalie Wynn, you're paying to see Contrapoints. And yeah, that's much more complex. Because you have to separate art, the author or the artist from the art itself. And people being disappointed in the art she is making because they feel like, hey, I wanted to have a strong communist influencer, and now I got a social democrat. Those disappointments are completely based and valid. And what the problem is that we forget that Natalie is a human being and that she's probably sad about it. And I mean, it's completely fine that she's sad. Like, we're all sad. And I don't mean by it's fine that she's sad in the sense of like we should let her be sad and be shitty to her. But in a way where I think we have to acknowledge that from these parasocial relationships, they aren't just one-sided, because yes, she is not having a direct relationship to one single person from her fan base, but she is having a relationship to the fan base as a whole and like community as a whole. And that means the negative feelings the fan base and community gets will reflect on her having negative feelings. Yeah, nevertheless, it's complicated, but I think I figured out why I have a problem with Contrapoints' approach to this, because I think she is seeing herself like more in a separated role and sometimes more in a victim role than she is. I mean, of course you're the victim when you get harassed. No victim blaming here. But I think she underestimates the influence that she herself is having on her fan base, and she is also not conscious about her selling a product, which is her videos and her online persona. Like, I'm selling a product in this small videos. Like, I'm selling you this weird emo kid sitting in her bedroom on the floor and getting back pain from it, and drinking beer, because in Germany you can drink beer at 16. And this selling a product means you have to like remain as product. And you, like, I think a lot of influencers later feel trapped because I feel like they can't escape that certain product. It's like basically you have a product line. You can maybe introduce small differences, like I can maybe film into another room. But if I suddenly make beauty travel blogs, like no one who is actually watching me for the content I'm making here will watch them, because that's not the same product anymore. And then they will feel maybe disappointed if I'm like doing this longer and they actually like the content and the product I'm selling. It's late at night. I don't know how late. As I said, I'm having back pain and neck pain, everything hurts, and I want to go to bed. And the bottle isn't empty. Yeah, kind of feeling like Contrapoints and drinking videos, but I'm drinking beer. Drinking fucking beer. And I'm not drinking it because of Contrapoints. No, I have to finish the bottle. Maybe I will do a German alcohol testing. I mean, I already know it, so I have to find some YouTubers from another country to get them to my country and then do an alcohol testing with them.